Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here. My name's Craig Horobin. I'm the CEO of Aircast, and we're here to speak about reimagining the internet and how to make live truly real time. My background is working over 20 years in major events, Olympic Games, FIFA World Cups, where my role has been to deliver technology and broadcast solutions in real time directly to media and broadcast stakeholders. Critical to my work with these major events was to deliver this content to everyone in absolute real time, zero latency. So what's happened now, obviously from RF to IP, everything is not exactly, IP streaming pretty much introduces a lot of latency. Nothing is real time anymore. And ultimately, ever since we've moved to RF broadcast, what we're really seeing is delayed, it's inconsistent, and out of sync. Today, I'd like to talk about how that can be changed and how this is becoming critical, but for the first time, streaming that can finally be truly live and at scale. Far more efficient and far more engaging. So at Aircast, our goal is to bring back the fundamentals of over-the-air streaming like broadcast TV over the internet. So the reality is today, what passes for live streaming is around 30 to 60 seconds delay behind real time from what happens on the field of play. This is not a technical detail. It fundamentally breaks the experience. Aircast brings down to 300 milliseconds, basically real time or as close to possible. That's the difference between watching it, something on delay, or actually being part of it. Here at Aircast, we've come up with a way not only to fix the problem, but also other problems that come with it regarding cost, infrastructure, and power consumption. So the problem, live streaming is retrofitted to a system that is not meant for live. The internet wasn't built for live. It was built for delivery as a file transfer system. You create a file, send a file, you case a file, and then send it on to the end user. The architecture still remains fundamentally the same to this day as it did for live streaming. And that's ultimately why the problems for live streaming remain. So when we try to force real moments through it, it breaks. So consumers get latency, there's spoilers through social networks, and before long, they receive the live video stream afterwards. The service providers see massive spikes, traffic spikes, and huge costs to build and maintain infrastructure, handle the traffic demands, and this is a major cost, the infrastructure requirement. During these peak moments, each of the turn impacts network distribution. And this means reduced betting engagement, lower ARPU, and margin compressed as scale increases. So live, though, is more bigger, more valuable, and more demanding than ever. At the same time, global streaming is massive and it spikes dramatically in key moments. When everybody shows up at once, that's when the system gets stress tested. And those are the most valuable moments, sports, news, and major events. Live is edge case traffic anymore. It's the most important workload on the internet. And when these events happen, it's when these problems can arise. This is essentially what happens when ultimately everybody's looking at the live events and peak hits. So largely at peak times. Live is not hard because it's big. Live is hard because the spike can arrive on an otherwise ordinary day. On the day that, so for instance, this example, on the day the Queen died, the BBC in the UK channel switched into rolling coverage at 12:40 and then peaked at 9.83 million at 6 p.m., 6:30 p.m., also more than double the average viewership number. The problem is that ensuring you can serve all end users in any given event, the architecture that can support these peaks, even if most of the time they are not needed. The time has come to build a fit-for-purpose network to support live streaming. So essentially, video on demand and live present vastly different challenges. So essentially, the industry's been treating live and video on demand as the same problem, and they're not. Video on demand is forgiving. You can buffer, preload, smooth things out. It's not as important if you are delayed. Live is different. Millions of people need the same moments at the same time. That makes the experience, cost, and a delivery problem. At the moment, that's the same network, but completely different requirements. So Live now has a better model. Aircast is built from the ground up, and it's built live first system. It's not adapted from video on demand and built on a completely different architecture that unlocks sub-second latency, lower infrastructure costs, true distribution at scale without sacrificing performance. Critically, over 99% reduction in carbon emissions. This is a better performance at lower cost with a fundamentally better footprint. Live streaming needs a platform that enables a flow-based approach. Storing live content and CDN egress is not required. So I've just spoken through this as well. So Live needs a better model, as mentioned. Purpose-built tech, reduction in infrastructure, built for concurrency, and designed for sustainability. So Aircast Live first streaming system. It's not just a technology, it's a flow-based streaming platform, and it shows up in three key ways. We've got in-venue fan experiences, enabling fans at a venue to have access to real-time content, video, audio, and data. At home, real-time streaming for sub-second latency for people watching live events. And also enterprise IP video infrastructure. So whether you're a broadcaster, a platform, or a venue, we plug into that ecosystem. Same core technology, multiple high-value user cases. So what happens when live is actually live? Real-time sports streaming without that delay. Real-time social engagement, creator influence, and live events. Live betting and prediction markets. Real-time interactive fan communities, and premium low-latency streaming tiers. So latency equals lost revenue plus broken engagement. So Aircast has been deployed for major events, demonstrating we can achieve low latency at scale and in high-density environments. Aircast deployed with the Australian Open and US Open just recently, and also for the Women's World Cup with FIFA, where we delivered sub-second latency for people across each of the venues, for each of the stakeholder groups. At present, bandwidth defines streaming. In the next era, latency and sustainability will define everything. And this is the future that we're building with Aircast. Thank you very much for your time. Any questions, anybody? We have our CTO here, Sanjay Gupta, who has some technical information, any technical questions, and we'll be happy to answer them. Okay, we also have a booth down towards the next large stage. So please, if you have any other questions, I'd love to chat about our technology. Would love to have you there. Okay, just one moment. Yep.
I was going to say, if any one of you is interested in trying out the Aircast service, send us an email. Next time we do a live event, we're happy to add you to our distribution list, and you can experience and compare what you see over a regular platform compared to our tech, right? So next time we do it, we can let you know, but you have to sign up so that it's an invite-only platform right now. So thank you.
Thank you very much, everybody.